We are going to take a look at a concept today that should be familiar to you from second grade, but we're going to do a quick vocabulary about this concept, take some quick notes, and then we will play a game. But we got to catch up a little bit since we missed math yesterday due to testing, okay? So the concept that you will need to know goes along or hand in hand with area, and it is called perimeter. So when we are working with perimeter, that is the space on the outside edge of a shape. Think of a fence or a wall around a room. But we're going to look at perimeter today so that we can create rectangles that have the same area but different perimeters. So we're going to take a look at this, and then we'll take some quick notes, and then we will play our vocabulary game, and we'll be all caught up from math. Yay! So I really enjoy this one. It's about aliens in space. Unfortunately, there's no purple unicorns, but we'll forget vocabulary. Alrighty, watch, think, and be ready to take some notes when we are done.
It's the year 2060 and you're colonizing Mars. You're about to buy a plot of land, but you have a dog and you want to make sure he has enough space to run around. You also want to build a fence so he can't escape. So first you want to know how big the backyard is, and then you want to know how far it is around. To figure this out, you have to find
the area. That's the space inside. For a rectangle, its length and width are multiplied. And perimeter, the distance around a shape. Just add the sides together and then you'll be great with the area. That's the space inside. For a rectangle, its length and width are multiplied. And perimeter, the distance around a shape. Just add the sides together and then you'll be great. Yeah, here I am on Mars, trying to find out the size of my backyard. Well, it's a rectangle, right? So what if we cut it into squares of the same size that are 1 unit long by 1 unit wide? These are called square units. Add them all up, surprise! You got 72 square units, or feet, cause that's the unit we're using. But who has time to count squares? Length times width is the quickest way to get there. Yeah, that's how you find the area. A nice little formula that'll take care of ya. And I need to hurry cause my dog is starving. Let's find the area so I can feed Marvin. My yard is 9 feet long by 8 feet wide. I get the area when I multiply each side. And 9 times 8 is 72. But here's another way for you to think it through. Basically, you take the rows and figure how many square units fit inside of those. Yo, my backyard is wide, 8 feet. So that's 8 rows with 9 square units in each. So multiply the 8 rows by the 9 square units, you get 72. Yup, you knew it. The area, that's the space inside. For a rectangle, its length and width are multiplied. And perimeter, the distance around a shape. Just add the sides together and then you'll be great with the area. That's the space inside. For a rectangle, its length and width are multiplied. And perimeter, the distance around a shape. Just add the sides together and then you'll be great. Now I've got my area for my yard on Mars, and there's plenty of room for Marvin to live large. But now I need a fence, cause I heard the animals on Mars could be intense. So I'll need a perimeter, the distance around my whole yard. How do you get it? Yeah, just add up the length of the sides. 9 plus 8 plus 8 plus 9's a perimeter of 34 feet. And oh yeah, that's regular units and not units squared. So let's take a look from another angle. To get the perimeter of a square or rectangle, you add 2 widths plus 2 lengths. Here's a formula, don't forget to say thanks. 2 times length plus 2 times width to get a square or rectangle's perimeter quick. So let's try it with my Martian backyard. Come on, get ready y'all, it's not that hard. 2 times the length of 9 is 18, and 2 times the width of 8 is 16, and 16 plus 18 is 34. Now if I could stop Marvin from making a dirty floor. Come on, Marvin. Seriously.
Alrighty, so perimeter is going to be adding up the outside lengths and widths around a shape. So perimeter is a real life scale when we think about a fence around a yard or a location. When we think about the walls that keep us inside of a building, those create a perimeter. So we're going to continue on investigating the dimensions of shapes by looking at the perimeter. I told you to grab Well, I didn't tell you to grab your notebook yet. I told you we'd be using our notebook, but I need you to make sure you have your math notebook because we're going to take some notes yesterday that we missed because of our testing. So you'll have your area notes. I'm going to turn my page and we're going to take some perimeter notes. So go grab your math notebook and something to write with. I'll give you a moment to go do that. Recording. Alrighty, so we are going to take notes today on perimeter. Perimeter is spelled with a P, E, R, I, M, E, T, E, R, perimeter. I'm going to take some notes on perimeter today. That skill goes hand in hand with area. And perimeter, we will write a definition first. Perimeter is the amount of space around a shape. So area is inside of the shape. Perimeter is the amount of space around a shape on the outside edges. Perimeter is the amount of space around a shape. I'm going to put that it is the edges. Give you a moment to copy that down. Again, perimeter is the amount of space around a shape. It is the outside edges. So area is the space inside of a shape or how much is covered up by a shape. The perimeter is what goes around the shape. You can think about a fence or a wall to a room. And in fact, we will write down those examples. So some examples of perimeter in real life are fences and walls. Those go around the outside of spaces or shapes frequently, and they are real life examples of perimeters. So if one day you are at your house and you are deciding that you would like to add a fence around your yard, you are going to have to calculate the perimeter of your yard to see how much fence you will need to buy. One day when you are owning your own companies and you want to put a fence around your building's location, you will need to know the perimeter of your property so that you can accomplish that. So perimeter, you can think of it as fences and walls. Area can be thought of as carpet or tile because that is an amount of space that is getting covered up. So perimeter goes around a shape, area goes inside of a shape. There are two formulas for perimeter, or two ways to find the perimeter of a shape that we will write down next. I'm going to scoot up. I'll leave the pink there so that you can see it, but I'm seeing some pencils slow down, so I think we are ready to write more. So there are two formulas for perimeter. And remember, a formula is an equation that tells you how to solve something. So formula is just a fancy word for an equation that works in all of the same type of situation. So if it's called a perimeter formula, no matter what shape you are working with, a large rectangle, a small rectangle, a square, you're going to be able to use these formulas, okay? The first formula is all addition. Length plus length plus width equals the perimeter. And we often use a capital P to represent perimeter. So in area, we multiply length times width. Area is equal to L times W. In perimeter, we are adding all four sides, which is 2 lengths and 2 widths. This is the way that we will use most often in 3rd grade. Length plus width plus width. There is another way, and it was shown to you in the vocabulary, and you might see it as well, and it's called the shorthand or the shorter way to write the formula. So the second formula is where we use multiplication. You notice that there are 2 lengths. So we will multiply 2 times the length. So if the length is 9 units, it would be 2 times 9. And then we would add that to the 2 widths. We see that we have width 2 times, so it would be 2 times the width. And that also equals the perimeter. I'm going to put a star by the one with addition, because this is going to be the one that we will practice the most often and the one that is going to be the most common to you. Justin, a question?
What are all these things? Because it confusing me a little bit.
These right here?
Yeah.
These are cursive L's. I use an L in cursive because a lowercase L looks like a 1. So if I were to make my L like this, it would look like a 1, and then you might think it's 1 plus 1. So I just do this as an L. If a lowercase L works for you, that's fine. Or maybe you want to do a capital L, that's okay too. But they're just cursive L's. Sorry, I should have clarified that.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to draw ourselves a little picture, and then we will be done with our notes. So I'm going to scoot this over, and our picture is going to go right over here. I'm going to draw just a square or a rectangle. You can do the same. And I'm going to make these outside edges bold. I'm going to trace over them a few times so that I visually remember that perimeter is those outside edges. Okay? Aiden G, a question?
And when you look to the bottom left, you can see that's like a little L to give you a hint that the L goes at the bottom.
What do you mean by it goes at the bottom?
Like when you look at the bottom corner, you can see like a L, and then it'll like, yeah, and you'll see that you're supposed to put the length right where the L is.
Yes, L is for length, and I put that capital L there to clarify Justin's question. Thank you for pointing that out, Aiden. Alrighty, so I'm going to label this with my addition symbols. So we know that our length is going to be plus our width which is going to be plus the other length, which is going to be plus the other width. Okay, so I've got to add all four sides, right? If I'm making a fence, it wouldn't make sense to only put a fence on half my yard, just my length and my width. That wouldn't make sense because then my dog can go whoop and run away and I'm sad. So we want all four sides, edges, to be accounted for inside of our perimeter. These are all of the notes that we're going to take. As you are finishing up writing, I'm going to take a picture of them and upload them to Seesaw in case you ever lose your notebook or at a different location and your notebook isn't with you, or if you just want a copy of them digitally. So go ahead and finish up taking those notes, and then we'll move on to our vocabulary game. Alrighty, those notes are uploading. Boom, uploaded. So if you did not finish, please know that they will be up for your work time, and you can get those finished up there. Okay, so those have been loaded for you. All right, to finish up and / get caught up from our testing day yesterday, we are going to play the vocabulary game for FloCab, which y'all already know what it means. We gonna be dancing. So I'd like for you to get your fingers ready. You are going to show me a 1, a 2, or a 3, and I will click on the answer that has the most votes, 1, 2, or 3, and then we will know what the correct answer is and whether we got it or not. These are going to focus on area and perimeter skills and vocabulary, so I would keep these notes right by your side so you can see them more easily. Okay, all right, vocab game, here we go, boom. All right, it's got a nice beat. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit so you can still hear me. Gotta feel it for a minute. Makes me think of warmer weather. All right, cool, let's get it going. And blank, or the distance around a shape. Just add the sides together and then you'll be great. When do we add sides? Perimeter, width, or area? When do we add up sides? And y'all, I'm gonna knock some people out via camera if I do not see this when we just took notes on it. When do we add sides together? When do we do that? Woo! Good, ones, you were scaring me. A lot of you were doing 2. Width is not a bunch of sides, width is one side, it's the width. When we are finding the perimeter, that's the distance around the shape, very good. All right, the units used to measure area are called, ooh, you better get this. The units used to measure area, do we call those perimeters, lengths, or square units? When you were finding area, what have you had to write 500 times? Square units. Drag the right word to its definition. The distance or measurement around a shape. It equals the total length of all the sides. So when you add them all together, is that the perimeter, the area, or the width? The distance around a shape, like a fence or a wall going around a room. What is that? Fingers up, kiddos. Good, that is the perimeter, the distance around a shape. All right, we got that square in there. I know what side? Oh, look, there's a really big hint. 9 times 8 is 72. Do we add, divide, or multiply to find the area? We multiply to find the area. Make sure you are looking at those clue words for area or perimeter. I wasn't sure that the dresser would fit between the windows. It has a length of 4 feet. It has a formula of 4. It has a width of 4 feet. It has a perimeter of 4 feet. So I'm thinking I've got windows right here. I'm trying to put a dresser right here. I am thinking, will it fit? What do I need to know about it? Fingers up. Very good. It's width, how wide it is, if it will fit in that space. Guitar's up next. To get the perimeter of a square or rectangle, you add 2 widths plus 2 lengths. Here's a blank. Don't forget to say thanks. 2 times length plus 2 times width. We just wrote that down. What is that called? Is that an area, a square unit, or a formula? Very good. The equation that you used to figure it out is a formula. Got that baseline in there? Okay. Drag the right word to its definition. A square whose sides each measure 1 unit. These are used to measure area. What do we use to measure area, people? Width, perimeter, or square units? Four. Steve Rogers, there's no 4. 3. Correct. These are called square units. Those are used to measure area. All right, drag the word that goes best with the image. Here is that dresser we were just talking about between those 2 windows. Are these arrows right here? Right here, this part. Are they showing its area, its width, or its perimeter? It's just one side of the dresser, people. Very good, that is the width. One dimension of it is the width. A 2-dimensional, 4-sided shape made of 2 pairs of parallel lines. They're opposite one another in 4 right angles. All right, 2D, 4-sided shape, 4 right angles, parallel sides. What's the shape called? A triangle, a rectangle, or a circle? Drag the word that best goes with the image. Is this yellow object a circle, a square, a triangle? Fingers up. Come on, A to G. Come on, Anton. Come on, Elijah. What do you think? What is that yellow object? A circle, a square, or a triangle? And some of y'all are giving me the peace sign. It is a square. Very good. Drag the word to its definition. In math, a rule expressed by numbers and symbols. We just wrote some numbers and symbols down. Symbols were our letters. What did we write down? Were they formulas? Were they perimeters? Or were they square units? What did we write down? Rules. What are the rules called? Got it? It's a formula. All right, guitar coming in next. The chessboard is covered with black and white blank that have all sides of the same length. A chessboard is covered with black and white circles, black and white triangles, or black and white squares with sides of the same length. Good. Circles don't even have sides, people. Drag the right word to the word that means the opposite. What is the opposite of divide? Multiply, add, or subtract. Opposite of divide. Look, y'all going and learning something. Okay, The dabbing, sir. Okay, I see it. All right, kiddos, I want you to keep these perimeter notes handy. They will help you today during our math lesson for today. And remembering the difference between perimeter and area. In perimeter, we are going to add all four sides of our squares and rectangles. In area, we are going to multiply the lengths and the widths. In perimeter, we will add all four lengths and widths.